we're talking about the Discord, the colors of the Discord people that are moderators at the Gala Games Discord. The whole point of the moderators is to keep Discord civil and direct conversation. And they're going to direct conversation away from any subject that Gala Games doesn't want them to talk about. So are they really on your side? It's kind of like, is an HR person on your side?
No, they're not. But I would think that they would. I would like to see them fight for the community instead of just throwing up their hands and saying that's not our problem.
Great. That would take a specific commitment from the CEO, in my opinion. That I would love to see Eric Schreiermeyer say, "Hey, I want these mods, our mods of the Gala Games Discord, to take us to task and hold us to what we say." Well, that doesn't happen. He's not going to say that. It would be nice if he did. He'd be a really stand-up guy if he did that kind of stuff. I'd love to see some back and forth between the mods and the company that the mods work for. But let's get.
I've seen that. I've seen that before.
Where have you seen that?
I've seen that on the Gala server.
Not anymore.
I saw one last week.
Where else have you seen this? Have you seen it anywhere else? The people that a company
I want to see, especially
do you see
now.
Anybody, wait. I remember some people that worked for Twitter tried to speak up to Elon, and then they were fired by tweet. Okay, they're fired by tweet within minutes of saying their shit. Elon's like, "Why can't this shit work?" And then I remember one engineer getting on and says, "Okay, Mr. Musk, let me roll it out to you," and starts talking about how, this won't work because of this. This won't work because of this. And start going into like network protocols and how the programs were set up and stuff like that. Dude was fired before he finished his fucking tweet storm. Okay? It's not going to happen on the Gala Discord.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they need to advocate for the community more. They should be doing that, especially now when they're trying to rebuild this shitstorm of drama. They should be reassuring the community. I will get on the phone with Spider Tanks or whoever it is, Echoes of Empire or whatever game it is where there's issues that the community has brought up, and really hammer down. We've got your back. We're going to have a conversation and we'll see what we can do. And then actually circle back to the community and fill them in on what they hear. Instead of just pointing fingers and blaming everybody but themselves. Take some ownership in this. You're a publisher. You are the ones who sold us the NFTs. You are the one who sold us on the game. You are the one who sold us on the concept. So take that responsibility to task and stand up for the community. We're the only ones standing up for the community out here. Faz Radio, the people that we talk to, the gamers, all of these people that me, a lot of the time, stands up here and gets all riled up like I am now. We're the ones that are trying to fight for it. It should be Gala. Gala should be doing that for us.
Okay, so I want to highlight something here. Las Vegas, first of all, mods are purple. Second of all, mods are apparently unpaid community volunteers, not Gala employees. I was talking about
reds and greens, not purples.
Okay, so I was using the word mods. In this, yeah. I would like to say that make the same assertion about mods. Since when can unpaid community volunteers that are not Gala employees get up in Gala's face in a public way? Maybe they do it behind the scenes. Right? Maybe we should have some introspection into that. I'd like to see that. But are they going to really show how they're advocating for us in that way? Well, Cryptoview is apparently a mod. I think we should set him up.
Yeah, so really, all right, wait, before we go any further, while you finish your thought, I'm going to post, if anybody wants to join us on the cast tonight, I'm going to post the link, copy, and you can come in and say your piece on anything we've talked about. Oh, wait, no, I'm going to post it, but I'm going to put you on hold. Faz wants to talk about the town coin conversion.
Really quick. And I think before I do that, I should at least say something like, I do appreciate what the mods do at Gala Games. I just have a hard time seeing how they stick up for the community. That said, I'm not on the Gala Discord all the time, so I'm just gonna make that a comment. Okay, so about the town coin. Um, so apparently, we just got some sort of communication from Gala that they're going to. They've been saying if you have some town coin, you can trade it for Gala at a 1 to 125, 1.25 rate. And so the whole point is for them to get all this town coin before they do away with the coin. Apparently, the coin's already gone or not being used. Nobody cares about it and uses it anyway. But they want to give you Gala for the remaining town coins you have. But now there's an email or something that came out that said, okay, we're not going to do that exchange anymore. We're done with town coin. I have a problem with this because some people might be dialed out of the community or forgot that they had town or just whatever. And you've earned your value with town. They've made a way for your town to retain its value in Gala, which is great. I love that. And so you can exchange your town for Gala. But now to end it, it says to me that if you did work pretty hard for that town in the past, you can't redeem it for Gala anymore. And I don't like that because I feel that you should always be able to redeem any town that you have. Anybody who might have checked out of the game for a while or been busy with life or something like that, they should be able to redeem it at any time. Titan meme dropped at Discord. What's he saying? What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at the meme. It's a really good one. Hang on.
Okay. So that's basically my spiel about town coin. Is I don't think that Gala should stop that exchange. I think they need to keep that going. It's going to show that they really appreciate the community. Personally, that's my 2 cents.
For once, I totally and 100% agree with you. There's no reason for them at all.
Cryptoview, I thought you were leaving.
Stop that.
Get out.
Quit kicking people out. I love Cryptoview. I think he's got some great points to make. All right, hang on. Let me make this big. Oh, good one. Present, share screen, window, the meme.
Watch what they do.
Awesome. Awesome, Zorro. Thank you. That was perfect.
Zorro, I think you need that to be a bit more hard hitting. Actually, I think you were too nice.
Zorro, we love you. Thank you for coming on. I think you've been on every show that we've probably ever done, and I definitely appreciate that. Listening to us almost 300 times, that's gotta be hard. All right, so we don't have anybody that wants to come on tonight.
Not even Lycan.
Oh, hey, Lycan. Hey, Lycan, welcome, man. I caught the back end of your cast last week. Somebody had told me.
End of his cast.
Yeah, I did, and I think that going through the suit line by line like you were doing is a good thing, and doing a bunch of those shows that will break it down for people in bite-sized chunks was fantastic. We just kind of threw it all out there on one show. So, excuse me, kudos.
Well, okay, so I have heard some rumors from people that that non-lawyers should not be analyzing cases by lawyers and acting like they know what they're talking about. Now, I'm saying that not to bust on Lycan, but to actually bust on us, because last week we did that same thing.
Yes, we were armchair lawyers. There's no doubt. Well, it does get things. It does look. So we have been around long enough to be able to help interpret some of this stuff and to give backstory to some of these things that people say and the accusations they make. Maybe people haven't been around long enough to understand the context. For example, when I had posted on the show a couple weeks ago, when I had posted that Benefactor Eric has wanted some kind of token gating so that people couldn't sell for years, people couldn't believe that until I showed on screen the Discord message that he put out like 2.5 years ago that said we need to find a way to stop people from selling. And that was able to bring some awareness to this, that the honor system and this gating of the nodes and stuff like that is not something they just thought of yesterday. This has been going on for a very long time.
Well, there's a number of decisions that I have a beef with, like the whole concept of what Eric, what's that insult that Eric came up with? An extractor. You're an extractor. If
Right.
if you cash in your hard earned gala token something, like if you it's Zorro. Oh my God. We can't hear him though. That's good.
He's over there making more memes and cracking himself up.
Zorro, that was pretty lame. You need to make much more hard hitting than that. Come on.
That was a good one. I'm sorry, Faz. My meme is only for fun, okay?
Of course, no, we love it. We love
no,
it.
I'm
Rip him to
you
shreds.
I want
Yeah.
more.
He's a glutton for punishment. He does it to himself. I mean, it's been like 6 or 7 months now. I don't think he's been on time yet to a Faz Radio. And I sit here with my dick in my hand waiting for him.
Cryptoview is trying really hard. Cryptoview is trying really hard to get Lycan to come on. I don't care one way or the other. Lycan's an awesome guy. Didn't we have him on one? Yeah, we had him on
We've had him on before, yeah.
Well, that's up to him. Until then, we can talk to Zorro. But anyway, no, I did want to get, before we go off onto weird directions, I did want to get into this whole extractor thing. I don't like the fact how Gala Game extracts stuff from the economy, but really doesn't like it when we do. And if they're going to have an honor system based upon, extraction and stuff like that, show us how you're not extracting. Okay? Abide by this system that you agree with. Yes, you're going to extract. Yes, we're going to extract. Come up with an economy that it works. That stuff works.
I've pushed on that really hard too. They need to make their money from sales, and in order to make their money from sales, they have to have good games, and in order to have good games, they have to have good marketing to bring people into those games. Because they're not doing those things, they have to sell tokens, and that's not right. They need to own and take accountability and responsibility for putting good games out and doing good marketing to get people to play those games. And I know Zorro is a huge fan of spider tanks. There's a lot good about spider tanks, right? There's a ton that's good about it. However, right, and I mentioned this. I had a conversation about this very topic today.
Titan.
You can only go so far, and then you hit your head and you're done.
Let him talk, Mr. Titan.
No, Poker Go is a good game actually, and it keeps a lot of people right now very interested in the game. It's a it's a regular common game that we see and we have been seeing for decades in all life. So Poker Go is a good game, and I'm not gonna make any comments on whatever is going on between the CEOs of Gala Games. That I think that's a private problem that they have to resolve first. And and I am not how do I say this? I'm a I'm a I am 100% with the community. and and always has been saying before in other channels and Discord channel that um the people that try sometimes to talk, I would say, the wrong way about what's going on in Gala games, these people need to learn on how to communicate, right? So, and the approach from Gala always, and the approach from the community always have to be, you know, decent. We have to stop treating ourselves that way. Um, from the side of the community, from the side of Gala, whatever is going on, we need to stop that. And what just I think Fast just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, um, at the end of the day, is about the games to deliver a good product, a good game, have fun, and that's it pretty much. Gala is a big company, and in that position, they have to handle their own things. Um, Gala have to resolve their own legal problems. I will let that to Gala handle all that information and get the good results or whatever result they're gonna get from there. That's it.
Well,
At the end of
the bigger the company,
yeah,
the bigger the company, the more likely you are to get sued. I mean, if not just by founders, but by game players and so on. It's legal services is a cost of doing business for these companies, and that's why they employ lawyers, because it's how they wouldn't be around if they didn't have lawyers. So this kind of stuff to me is rather normal. And apparently, Zorro is faking his accent. So.
I am not faking anything. I'm a Latin guy. I try to speak English. That's it.
Oh,
Everybody,
I think Lycan's trying to give you trouble here.
Lycan is a good guy, man. Believe me. We
Yeah.
spend a
we know that
with Lycan. The only thing with my wonderful friend Lycan is just sometimes he get a special way to express things.
Well, I would say his Lycan's special.
You are
way
far too nice in every way, Zorro.
He's
because
very
yes,
good at getting attention. He's very good at getting attention, and the best way to get attention is to just insult people. So I don't know. I think I'd feel honored if he insulted me, but then I'd start throwing it back.
But
do you think it's normal that two founders are suing each other? Yes, I do, because in a lot of big companies, the founders tend to break up after the companies get really big. Like I was saying before, Apple, Microsoft, and so on, and a lot of other big companies. Didn't Google, the founders, go after each other too?
And it happens all the time, believe it or not. In every company, large corporation, yep. They always have these type of issues. All of them.
And
Amazon, Google, all these companies have the same.
And people are acting like this is unusual, and it's like, well, maybe we're not used to this because we're not rich enough to have a lawyer, lawyers on staff at our house or something. I mean, lawyers for the common person are rather expensive. Businesses, lawyers are pretty cheap. They can do whatever they want. And frankly, your lawyers make it so that what you want to happen becomes legal. Okay? It's like, hey, I'm doing something. They'll go find a legal precedent for it and justify what you're doing.
Guys, you're still missing the point here. If Gala sues these CEOs sue each other, and these lawsuits are won or lost or whatever, they're spending tons of money. The lawsuits do affect us because we hold assets that company sold us. We hold tokens that company sold us, and those tokens and those assets will absolutely be affected. Let's say for stupidity reasons, just to get my point across. Let's assume that Eric is completely gone and lost on this, and Wright Thurston wins every one of his points, and two things happen. one, he's asked for Eric to be removed as CEO. So we lose Eric as a CEO. And there's all kinds of now issues with the leadership of Gala. You don't think that's going to affect the games, which is going to affect NFTs, which is going to affect tokens? Amazon and Apple can fight all they want internally. We're not holding their assets, relying on them to make those assets worth something. That's the difference. And that's what a lot of people here are missing.
But hold on. It would be the same if you go to the regular market and you put some money to invest in any company, and that company go through the same thing in the same situation. The only difference between Gala Games in that company and the regular market is that Gala Games just told you what's going on. The other company will never tell you what's going on. Will never tell you what's going on. Either way, somehow your investment is going to be affected. Mm-hmm. Yes or no?
Correct.
Yes. At the end of the day, that's the only difference, that Gala Games, is exposing everything. I mean, we know everything was going on due to the Discord. That's it. That's the only difference. At the end of the day, this company, like Faz said before, there will be companies that you will invest your money, whatever, and you will know about it if something happened between CEOs, managers, whatever. And somehow it will be affecting, obviously, the product of this company or whatever, the shares, whatever it is. There's always risk there. There's always some risk in any investment that you do.
Well, okay. I have an example that fits a little bit what Titan's trying to talk about, and I'm thinking of like a gaming system, like, I don't know, the Atari 2600 or the Commodore 64 or something. The games that come out on those systems, I mean, even it's the Razor Blade model too, where you have the razor is free, but the blade you have to keep buying. If the razor company goes out of business, the blades, I mean, you're not going to be able to use that razor. No matter, all the blade manufacturers are going down, and with the Atari 2600 and other video game systems and stuff, if the main system gets unpopular or goes down, whatever games that you have bought are no longer worth much anymore. So
we're not talking about worth. You can still play the games. You're not affected.
Well, theoretically, the way that Gala Games is trying to set things up, these nodes can run in perpetuity even after Gala Games goes under. The problem is that's not completely decentralized yet, and they're holding the keys to all that. And I will totally buy into. That's why I got into Gala Games, was that this node system was supposed to be completely decentralized and not controlled by them. So I do have a little bit of a problem with the fact that they're controlling all the nodes. They control how the votes are phrased. They control everything about how the node votes work, and so on. That said, I think they're doing a lot of good in that you're discounting a lot of stuff.
I'm not discounting. I'm trying to put reality into the situation. That even in their statement that Brink read yesterday ahead of the game, and that the lawyer put out and everything else, they're saying they're trying to create this narrative that it doesn't really affect the community. It absolutely does. And I don't want to hear that it doesn't, because that's gaslighting. That's just inherently incorrect. It does affect us. And the outcome of these lawsuits does affect us. It's going to affect our ability to have games on the platform. It's going to affect not only that, but music and film, because music and film are part of Gala, the ecosystem. They're funded by the same money. They're affected by the same leadership. So it absolutely does affect the community. And them telling us that it doesn't, or it just affects us a minute amount, is complete horseshit, in my opinion. Who are you pointing at?
What's going on with that?
Oh, I thought Zorro was going to say something.
Oh, no. So, all right, we're arguing in circles here on this part, but
yes, we do.
In the long run, it's going to depend on what Gala does in the meantime. While we're waiting the year or two for this to get weasel its way through the court system and we either see evidence or don't see evidence or whatever happens with it, what are they going to do from the games, the music, and the film side between now and the end of that lawsuit's going to make all the difference. So we're back to where we were pre-lawsuit. What is Gala delivering? Are they delivering what they need to be delivering to, A, keep the people in the ecosystem that they've got, and B, bring new people in? What do you think?
Okay. You want to go first, Zorro, or what?
Well, it's one simple thing, is they need to continue working, Titan. Mm-hmm. That's it. There's nothing that they can do. They will, and they have to continue working. Whatever happens in the background, whatever happened with the lawsuit and the CEOs, whatever, we need to continue working. That's it. They need to continue working. And that's not going to stop. There's no other way to go around this. It's just continue working, put the games on there, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So Gala Games, in my opinion, right now is trying to make sure that they have a business model that can eventually get decentralized. And they're going to make a lot of choices right now that are very centralized so that they can get the ball rolling. Is it in our best interest? I don't think all the time. Is it in their best interest? Well, we kind of need things to be in their best interest at the moment, if we like their games.
Well, that's the point that I'm trying to make is, even if we ignore this lawsuit stuff, if we take that completely out, are they doing enough of what they need to be doing to keep people on the platform and to bring new people in? That was my question.
Enough. Okay. If you're talking about competing with other gaming platforms,
I'm talking about, are they doing enough to keep people on the platform who are currently here and bring new people on?
Sorry,
I think the games are competing with each other at the moment. Like that Champions Arena is competing, taking people away from spider tanks. I do think they have a problem there. I'd certainly like to see some more advertising to bring in fresh blood, because I seem to think if they're pulling away their own users from other games, they're not really bringing in new people.
Marketing.
Yes.
Marketing. Better marketing, and in different ways, it will help a lot. Any game.
That was Golden Hawk's point that I put up a little bit ago, is that was part of the anti-Faz argument from earlier. If they've got $65 million to spend on an airplane, why aren't they spending $65 million on marketing?
That's a good question.
And that's where it affects us, Faz. That's what we're trying to get across. We're not being critical. We're not saying don't buy an airplane. We're saying you have all these other things that you could be doing to help the ecosystem grow, yet these other things are priorities. Instead of helping games grow, perhaps you shouldn't have spent however billion. Who keeps poking the buttons? This is Faz. They're spending this money, and are they doing enough to survive regardless of the lawsuit? Those were where my questions were going, because that's the important part. But it does affect us, and I really wish they wouldn't say to the community, this doesn't affect you, because that's not entirely true.
Okay, I'll cede that point to you.
Thank you.
They do need to admit that their lawsuits affect their people. I think that they do need to find a way to show how they're being responsible and show how they're at least pandering to their own people and their founders and stuff like that, to show that they're making a better value right now. They kind of are, because once this lawsuit dropped, if you notice, Benefactor got on Twitter and started saying, well, we got this game, we got this game, we got this game. But Twitter marketing, in my opinion, isn't the same as real marketing. I want to see fucking football commercials for Gala Games. I mean, spend some of this real money. Come on. At least name them in some way.
Your audio is
me?
Your audio went out and your video's frozen. Oh, you just let loose. Maybe you'll be okay now.
Darn it. Sorry about that.
You're probably making some good points there. So I do want to get another perspective, since we have Zorro was kind enough to join us. I had talked a little bit earlier about some of the greens and reds going to bat for the community with these developers instead of putting your hands up and saying, not my problem. What is a gamer, a hardcore gamer like you? What's your take on that? Am I saying something I shouldn't be saying when I say that?
Well, what was your question again? Sorry.
Well, I was talking earlier. Faz and I were arguing a little bit earlier when I said that the greens and the reds, when they're questioned on these games, and they throw up their hands and they say, that's not my problem. Our hands are tied. Sorry, can't help you. It's the devs' problem. Do you think that those reds and those greens should be going to bat for the communities as the publisher, or should they just sit back and say, hey, that isn't our problem, it's on the game dev? How does that make a gamer feel when you hear that?
Well, basically, that's people that is there for something else than the game. No?
Wouldn't you like to see who's in charge of Spider Tanks? Isn't that Chair Bandit?
It is, yes.
And I know Brink gets on there quite a bit, Bitbender, and they kind of throw up their hands and say, "Hey, that's the game dev's problem. We don't have anything to do with that. Sorry."
Well, okay.
Do you think that's valid, or do you think they should be saying?
Problem? What should be? Because you've said this like in 3 different ways now.
Yeah, I'm trying. He's not understanding kind of what I'm asking, so I'm trying to rephrase it. Do you accept that as an excuse?
What should be the game dev's responsibility? What should be the publisher, Gala Games' responsibility? Why don't you start with that, Mr. Titan?
So that's based on the contract that they wrote with that. And we've heard from those game developers who's responsible. We've interviewed them on this show. We know who's responsible for what. My question, again, and I don't know if I'm not communicating it well or if nobody wants to answer it. I'll call them out by name to make it even more clear. Should Bitbender, Chair Bandit, whoever's in charge of Echoes of Empire, should they be in Discord or in public or on ahead of the game or whatever, should they be saying, hey, that's not my problem, sorry guys? Or should they be getting out in front and saying, you know what, you're making some really good points. I'm going to stand up for this community and I'm going to go back to that game developer and I'm going to find out what the hell's going on. I'm going to propose some of the solutions that we've talked about here together, and I'm going to get some answers for you.
Yeah, 100% Gala Game has to do that. Of course,
that's taking on a lot of extra work. Sorry, that's taking on a lot of extra work. Gala Games, if Gala Games did that, they now have to show progress, and that's not going to happen unless there's some sort of support from the CEO. That's what I said earlier. Sorry to interrupt you, Zorro.
No, that's fine. It's your show, man. Don't worry.
Well, then shut the hell up. All right.
There you go. That's Faz.
Faz likes to interrupt, so please, Zorro, go ahead.
No, I think it should be Gala going back to the developers and fight for the games and fight for us.
Right. That's what I was alluding to earlier when I got all worked up. You saw my vein pop out. That's what I sit here and I scream about constantly. When we talk about fiduciary duty, yes, they have to take care of themselves. Yes.
But hold on.
They have to fight for us.
Hold on, Titan. But we don't know if at the end of the day, we don't know if they're going back to the developers. Actually, if you're looking for proof of that, I think we're never going to see it.
I'm looking for them to see it.
The only way you're going to see those type of proof is when you actually see changes on the game that become better. That's what we will assume that Gala is doing what they're supposed to do.
And I agree with you there, but what I want to see, you said, what do you want to see? What I want to see is I want to see Bitbender, I want to see Chair Bandit, I want to see them, instead of saying, that's not our problem, it's on the game dev. That's what they do right now. I want them to get up into the camera and do a Faz, and I want them to get in the camera and say, I hear what you're saying, Mr. Community Member. I am going to get on the phone with them and find out how we can solve this problem. And in 2 weeks on Ahead of the Game, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to share those results of that conversation with you. That's what I want to see. That is exactly what I want to see. And we're not seeing that right now. That would put some fire in me to want to participate in this ecosystem a lot more if I'm watching Bitbender and Chair Bandit and all these people fight for the community who spent all this money and spent their time, their precious time, playing these games and trying to get ahead. That's what I want to see. Faz didn't like that, so he left.
Well, I think what would you like to see is something that is, maybe I will consider that private information between Gala Games and the developer of the games.
Mm-hmm. And
the only way I think that we're going to see that information is when they make progress in the game.
And look, so we know it's going to happen, right? I've seen a lot of people complaining in CFA and on the Gala server. We get to a certain point of this game and we're hitting our head and we can't go any further. Even if we spend more money, that's as far as we can go. That's going to happen. We know that's going to happen. It happens with every single game. But that's where it has to be addressed, where these reds and these greens and these developers, the developers need to show up in the Discord a lot more too. And they need to get in front of that and say, okay, you've hit your head. We got that. What are some ideas that the community has, the game players? What are some ideas that you guys have? We can make this game better for our next release. And there was somebody who just posted, I want to say it's Johnny somebody was posting. Yeah, Johnny somebody was posting and said, why can't we have here's what's coming. We've heard you. We're going to implement this. It might be 3 months out, but those are some really good ideas. We'll try and get those incorporated in the game and then follow up with that. And if they can't incorporate something the community does, because I know, Zorro, you've said a lot of things. The Moff has said a lot of things. Talk to the people who are playing the game.
I think that let's put it this way. This is my personal opinion. Yes, I see a lot of people in the community that they put their ideas and they, speak and say, express their ideas in the Discord. And I believe that somehow Gala Games employees, let's call it this way, they have their methods or the way that they select certain stuff that people say in the Discord. I believe that is happening in the Discord channel of Gala Games, right? But at the same time, you have to assume that they're not going to go ahead and basically run the game exactly the way that people is asking to run the game.
That's fair.
Is that fair?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly like everybody wants, because we know there's 30 people who have 30 different ideas.
I'm saying, but I'm saying this exactly you just mentioned. I'm saying this because I watch the Discord constantly, and I think I'm always watching them rather than speak or say something. But there are also a lot of people that just jump in the Discord just to say something, and just to try to prove their point of, oh, this is what is have to happen with this game, blah blah blah. Hello, you know, there's way that you can communicate that, but at the same time you will see, and you see it all the time, you will see people constantly repeating and saying the same thing for a game, and this and that and that. I mean, I guess again that in some way, uh Gala Games, they saw your opinion. Maybe they're not responding too fast to your comments, and besides that, you have comments, thousands of comments every day in there. You know, I mean, I'm guessing that it's really hard for them to keep up with tracking all those comments and those opinions. You know,
Right.
I would say it's hard to do that. Even for me, for myself, sometimes I see a lot of information in there. I don't keep track of all the information that people is posting in there and how to run the games.
So
yes, it's good to have opinions from the community. Hey, you know, by the way, listen, but on the other side, you have people that just pushing, oh, it have to be this way. Hello, people, that's not going to happen.
So they did it sort of for a little while, where they had like little focus groups, right? Where they would invite a handful of people in who maybe played that particular game a lot, or had some pretty strong opinions on things, and brought them into a little focus group to get that feedback. But then it always kind of disappears from there. And I do think that there are opportunities to be had with that. And perhaps on a Spider Tank AMA, right? They get the game developer, they get Chair Bandit, they put them together, and there's somebody watching the comments, and when they see good comments, they can pull people out of there that they kind of see this stuff. And after the cast, you pull them aside, and you do either recorded or a live where you have a discussion about these things, where some of those ideas can be talked about, and maybe they're great, maybe they're not, but you have that discussion where people who play the game can see that. Right. We have a new visitor. We're gonna have a new visitor join us.
Let me go,
Mr. Lycan. Welcome to Faz Radio, Lycan.
Excuse me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
There he goes. He's got the beer popped. We're in trouble now.
Let me drink something.
You gotta stay hydrated. Stay hydrated there, folks. Hello.
So
Faz, hello, Titan. Hello, Zorro.
Well, Faz fell off. We ran his phone battery out. So Faz dropped. He dropped off like before Zorro and I had that conversation. He sent me a DM and he's like, "My phone's dead." So continue. So you are a very vocal and as Zorro puts it, opinionated member, and I've watched and participated in your cast for community advocacy, which is where I sit as well. What are some of your thoughts after listening to and seeing what people have been saying in here tonight?
Am I muted? Or you can hear me, right? Y'all good?
We can hear you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I just want to first say this. Let's be honest. Without ROI, this space would not exist. People would not be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on components for a game that's not even released yet. So when you take that into consideration, sitting there and saying that 2 lawsuits between the 2 CEOs going against each other is not hurting the company, look at what happened to the price when it came out. It's stabilized now, but it's definitely hurting, right? So I don't care about ROI. I have no money invested. Only thing I've invested is my time, which to you brought up earlier, Titan. Everyone that's played any game for Gala Games has invested their time. And time is the only commodity we have that actually matters because we've got a finite amount of it. So it feels disingenuous when they talk about changing the world with all the things they're doing, when in reality, all it's about is the dollar. And that's fine if you just come out and say, hey, it's about the dollar, but that doesn't sell, right? We're not going to talk about that. We're changing the world. It's something glorious. I worry about everyone that has invested. And I realize legally it's not an investment, right? We talk about that jokingly all the time, but we all know that it is actually an investment. People would not be spending $100,000 or more on a fungible token, by the way, because it's not non-fungible, on a game that has not even been released yet. That's preposterous. That's absurd to even pretend like that's reality. And maybe that helps some people sleep at night, but the truth is, if there was no ROI, there would be no Web3. Now, where do we go from here? I think, as you pointed out, whenever this is all done, whoever is associated with either of these indictments, whatever's true, not whatever's false, whatever's true and proven, they need to be removed from the company immediately. Frankly, I would remove them now because they're not helping anyway. But that's me, and I'm a bit partial to how I feel about certain people. I think to address Lance quickly, simping's not saying you're stupid, Lance. It's saying that you're always so positive, which is refreshing. But at the same time, when someone's a paid shill and they're always positive, I don't necessarily trust them. When you've invested so much money into it, you want it to succeed because you spent money into the Galaverse like Cryptoview. So you want it to succeed. You want to be positive. And it sometimes feels like you're not critical enough because it feels like you've invested so much. And that's on you. I don't care. I don't lose any sleep at night over people's choices because this is a bunch of adults making adult decisions. Now, I personally would love a jet, but I have nowhere to go with it. So here I am, not flying anywhere. I drive around like a simpleton. As far as that, hello, Cryptoview. How are you doing?
Hello, guys. How are you? I see the Lycan the stash.
That's right. House. Do we want to talk about fungibility? Because I'll talk about fungibility.
Oh my God! How many beers you got? Please, Lycan.
Look at all my files. Look at all this. Look at this. You know what I've been doing? You see all this shit I've been doing? Why am I doing all this? Because I fucking care. People need to know the fucking truth, right? Did you know that Benefactor had 7,000 fucking nodes? I didn't, because the last time I saw back 10 months ago, he had 1,100 nodes. Now, someone had told me he had 7,000, but I had no proof. Well, now I got proof. Now he's got 7,000. So he made a tweet the other day, and I put that up in my video. I'm all in on Gala, but he's got no Gala in his wallet. So,
but listen, wait.
No, don't tell me to listen.
Wait. About the 7,000 notes, everybody knew about that. But also everybody from the beginning. I've been here since late 2019.
You're aware of Cryptoview. The average
I'm not aware. Listen, and about the Gala that he's not in his account. We're not even looking at the treasure chest. The guy is not minting the Gala. Now, if you've tracked that wallet, it had no Gala minted. And that account is the one that have the notes on. So he's not cashing out the money from his notes. So you got to be clear that the money that the galas that you see there are Ethereum galas. You don't see the Gala chain galas inside the treasure chest that he's been minting for the past years on his notes. So
I understand that. That. What I'm saying is,
and you cannot spend the Gala if you don't turn it into Ethereum.
So how are you all in on Gala then?
He's not catching. He's not transferring to Ethereum and selling it like the other guy, whatever his name is.
Your best friend Zorro?
My best friend Zorro is a secret whale. Look at that.
I don't know what the hell you guys talking about.
That's the blue glasses are for us. That's whale symbolization.
So that's one point that you had to make in your video. I was about to tell you that, like that wallet is empty because he haven't meant anything. Now go into the Ethereum scan and see if he meant anything and transfer it somewhere. Like if you see that he hasn't. So,
but you've got to understand also that's an assumption that Benefactor only has one wallet too, which is
he doesn't.
Not,
he has
not
multiple
correct.
Wallets. He's got multiple.
There's a lot of different wallets that have a lot more Gala, and that's true for everybody we've run into. We've traced wallets for employees and for regular people that are part of the ecosystem, and there's a lot more people that are selling things than you would care to understand without spidering all of these wallets.
I'm not disagreeing your point, Cryptoview. I understand what you're saying. I don't have a node, so I don't understand how it works. So that does make sense that all of the distribution is not minted, because that would be a whole lot of ETH that Gala would have to spend every day to get that up. Makes perfect sense. My point is, how are you going to sit here and say I'm all in on Gala and have barely any Gala in your wallet, right? That doesn't track to me. And I think that was part of my point. And when I brought it up in the video, was that if you looked at the comments, a lot of people were pointing that out, that he has no Gala in his wallet. So, and that's just Gala V2. We didn't look at V1 yet.
Another thing that I might say, if you see his wallet, he haven't sold any NFT either. So not transferring, not selling it. So,
but he doesn't play the games. Why does he have them?
Oh, he does play Spider Tank. He rents his tanks.
That we don't know.
No. He rents his Spider Tanks. He rents his Spider Tanks to make money. He doesn't play the games.
He don't rent. Okay, if he makes the Spider Tank to rent to make money, then at the same time he's helping the community, because there's somebody who renting his tank who's making.
Did he buy those tanks, or was he giving them?
I think some of them he bought them, and he's clear on the blockchain. If you go to the blockchain in his wallet, you can see that he bought some tank. You can argue that he bought the tank with the same money he made in the notes or with Gala. Yes, but he did reinvest. Did he actually take it from his checking account and buy it, or did he reinvest what he was given? Because listen, I agree with his point of, hey, I was one of the initial people that invested in this company, right? I was willing to risk X amount of money, but at what point do we say, okay, you've made 100,000 X? When does the community get to eat too? Because that's all it ever feels like is Gala's going to continue to eat, and they're going to keep starving the majority of their community. Well, I'm gonna tell you a story, and it's my personal story. Like when I started in Gala, one of the things that I did was helping my family in Venezuela. Like my family in Venezuela have like few cousins who play Gala, Town Star at the beginning, and they were surviving by playing the game. So in my opinion, I can say like South America and maybe Philippines and all these countries, they are surviving out of this. Maybe $50 for you a month is nothing, but $50 for somebody in South America who make $100 a month is a lot. Like I seen a lot of people, renting my tanks on a Spider Tank. They live in Philippines and Asia, and they surviving and bringing food to their tables without having their honor system, which I don't like, and I've been vocal about it here on this channel with Faz Radio, that they feeding their family just playing Spider Tank, and making, I don't know, $50 a month, but that's something that they can bring food to the table. So I think they're doing something good on that. I don't know.
So we talked about that with Townstar back in the day, right? That was the goal, was to be able to help people like that. But helping a couple of people and shitting on thousands of people, I don't think that the scale are even, if that's fair.
Okay, but
not that there's 1,000 people playing Spider Tanks, because there's not. But
we don't know. We don't know, but we don't know how many people are playing Spider Tank.
Vape, Cryptoview's vape needs to match his glasses. Titan, what do you think?
We gotta get a fund going, because all of us are cool like Frank Sinatra, looking real cool with drinks and vape, and there's Cryptoview with nothing.
Hey, I'm the black chip I'm the black sheep in these conversations.
Hey, yeah, he's the only healthy one here.
Right? We're all
built
going to
like
be
a
dead.
ox.
He'll take over the shows.
Built like an ox, baby.
So
What
keep
did I wanna-
going, like, keep going. I want to
Well,
hear more.
okay, let's circle back to the main point of this, which was about the lawsuits hurting everything, right? Objectively, people are going to see that, and the price went down, right? Now, there's enough people out there that play the ROI game, play the buy low, sell high game, and you can see that in a lot of these transactions. A lot of it's just people, they're just playing with it, which is fine. If you've got the money to play with it, go for it. But I don't think that this is reflective of people still believing in it. I think this is people playing the money game, seeing it go up a half of a cent and then selling, and then it goes back down and they buy more. You know what I mean? I think there's not enough talk about it being delisted from Coinbase. And again, these are all allegations. But if what the allegation alleges is true, that the real reason for V2 was to lock out Thurston and not actually provide functionality. I saw a screenshot from the Discord with someone saying, it's too complex. You wouldn't understand the difference between V1 and V2. Well, if you understand what you're doing and you're a master of your craft, you should be able to explain to anyone in simple terms what it is. And I don't think it would be sharing company secrets by explaining in layman's terms what exactly is different. I don't think that would be a negative. Do you? Do you think it would be a negative for us to actually have transparency in what's going on?
Well, and this point was brought up, Lycan. I'm glad you brought that up again, because we were talking when this comment first came on. Golden Hawk made the comment, Gala Games did not tell us what was going on. We only found out this stuff because there was a lawsuit. Otherwise, they wouldn't have said anything, right? And we would have been in the dark about all these things had these allegations not come out. Now, they do have to be proven. They're just allegations at this point. But they would have never told us the real reasons behind all this stuff if this lawsuit hadn't come out. And I think that is a very valid point as well.
I just want you to know I have a bookmark in this document called Benny Buys Airplane. I just want you to know that. And it's my favorite part, that he bought an airplane, allegedly. My question to you is, let's look at what Benefactor said. He says it was Thurston that did all of this. Now, my question to you is, who's the idiot? Because either Thurston thinks he can get away with pretending to be Benefactor and buying the jet under his name, or Benefactor thinks he can say it was Thurston pretending to be him. Which one seems more likely? Also, I'm wearing a green shirt, by the way. So
I just noticed that too.
So if I stand up, you can see I got color on my shirt. But, yeah.
So I had made a point in one of the conversations, and I think I even talked about it last week. So one of the big things I took out of this, one of the top three things I took out of these lawsuits was the accusation that Wright Thurston was stealing the company funds. And when you look at it, they both had the keys to that wallet that had 19 billion Gala in it. Wright could have taken all 19 billion tokens out of there. He didn't.
I had someone bring that up to me the other night. Yes.
He
I didn't think about that.
He took 8.2 billion out, which is roughly 45%.
So allegedly
which
what
is
he owed, what he felt like he owed.
What he felt like he owned, right?
Right.
And at first, he didn't do anything with them. Only later did he start moving them around and selling them, and then it turned into a crap show. But the big point of that is he could have cleaned them out and sold immediately, everything, and he didn't. So there's a story behind that, and that is something to look at, right? And on the other side of this, another big thing that stood out on the Eric side of it, to go fair on both sides, he accused Wright of selling a bunch of nodes and not giving those funds to the company. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, that is something horrible, yes, because that affects us as node owners, right? It was taking how many nodes was that? It was like 4,000 nodes or something like that.
I saw something about 8,000, but I don't know
8,000 nodes. That was taking distribution away from the community, if that's the case.
Let me ask you something. I
That's
wanted to
big.
ask Faz this, Titan, but I'll ask you, and you can answer as Faz. Okay. if any of these allegations are true on either side, what do you believe should happen to the person that is guilty?
I actually posted, I said it earlier, and I posted this on Classy's tweet when he was talking about it too. Whatever comes out as true, and if the allegations are there, I want the maximum penalty for the person who caused the harm to happen. And I want the person who's in the right to be vindicated. And if it's found that Wright caused a lot of this and is full of it, he should be absolutely removed from the company. And I think that if Eric caused a lot of this that caused harm to the community, he should be removed as well.
So let me ask you this way. We've got 3 people involved in this lawsuit. All 3 of these people are in a little video together, including Michael McCarthy. I don't know if you saw that in my video from back in the day. And it just feels like what's listed in the allegations is the tip of the iceberg. It truly feels like there's no way either of these allegations could be